She jumped out of that black SUV and pointed straight at my 10-year-old like he was some kind of criminal. Hand him over, he violated HOA security rules. She screamed it with full confidence. I froze for a moment because we don't even have an HOA. We live on open county land. My boy stood there shaking, holding the small toolbox he uses to fix his bike. Then two men in cheap uniforms stepped out behind her, flashing plastic badges like they were running a real operation. One of them reached for my son's arm. My boy looked up at me with wide, frightened eyes, and a quiet burn lit up inside my chest. I said, "Touch him again and you will regret it." Karen smirked like she had already won. "We are HOA enforcement. Your kid damaged community property," she yelled, pointing at a streetlight that had been broken for months. Before I could respond, the fake officer pulled out a clipboard and announced, "We are removing the child for questioning." My hands tightened, but I stayed calm. Calm in a way someone might mistake for fear, because she had no idea who I really was or what I had lived through. Karen stepped closer, trying to push past me, toward my son. "Move or I will call real police and tell them you are resisting." She wore that kind of smile people get when they believe they control everyone around them. My son grabbed my sleeve and whispered, "Dad, can they take me?" I leaned down and whispered back, "Not from me, not ever." Karen snapped her fingers at the fake officers. "Take the kid now." They started toward him again, slow and confident, like this was a routine they had done before. That is when something shifted in me, something she could not see and they could not predict. I was not just a quiet dad fixing bikes in the yard. I was someone fake officers never want to cross. A Navy SEAL with patience running thin. They did not even make it 3 steps before I spoke again, calm and low enough to make all 3 of them pause. "Before you touch my son, look at the ground." They glanced down, confused. My boots were planted in the dirt. But what they did not notice was that I had positioned myself between them and the only way out. A small detail, but enough to shake anyone who knows they are lying. One of the fake officers swallowed hard. Karen rolled her eyes. "Stop acting tough. You were just some handyman. Move." I did not move. I did not raise my voice. I simply asked, "What is the penal code for an HOA taking a child?" They froze. Their faces twitched. They did not know the answer because there was no answer. Karen huffed, pulled out her phone, and pointed it at me like she was recording a victory. "Perfect. I will show the police how you threatened us." My son stepped behind me, trembling, and that pushed something deeper inside me. I tapped his shoulder gently, sending a quiet message. "Stay close, but stay calm." Karen marched toward the broken streetlight, yelling, "This kid broke it. You think you can hide behind your dad? I will make sure you both get thrown off this land." "My land?" I asked softly. She laughed. "Yes, HOA land." I reached into my pocket, pulled out a folded document, and held it up. "This land, the land my father bought 20 years before your HOA existed." Her smile vanished. The fake officers exchanged nervous looks before any of them could speak. A loud crack echoed across the yard. A truck door slammed. My neighbor, an older man with a limp, stepped out holding his phone high. "Everything is recorded, including the part where those two tried to grab a minor." Karen's face went pale. "Turn that off. You cannot record HOA security operations." The old man chuckled. "You are standing on county land, and those two are not officers. I ran their plates." Karen turned to the fake officers, shaking. "You said you were official." Their hands drifted toward their belts, not for weapons, but for something else. Something that told me they were about to make a very foolish choice. I stepped forward, fully shielding my son. "Before you do something you cannot undo," I said, "you should know exactly who you are dealing with." The taller fake officer sneered. "And who are you supposed to be?" I met his eyes without blinking. "Navy SEAL retired, and I can tell when a man is about to panic." His jaw locked. Karen gasped. My son gripped my arm tighter, and then everything changed. A real police cruiser rolled up behind them, lights off, engine quiet, like it had been watching the whole time. The officer stepped out, steady and alert, already focused on the fake officer's hands. "Funny thing," he said. "Dispatch got a call about men impersonating law enforcement." Karen panicked. "No, they are with the HOA. They were helping me detain this man's child." The officer raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, there is no HOA here." The fake officers tried to run. They made it 2 steps. I did not touch them. The officer tackled one. My neighbor stuck his cane out in front of the other and sent him straight into the dirt. Karen backed away, whispering, "This is not happening." The officer cuffed the fake officers, checked their badges, and shook his head. "Both fake. You are going in, too, ma'am. Conspiracy, attempted kidnapping, Trespassing. Karen started crying. I did not know. They told me. I finally spoke, quiet and sharp. You tried to take my son. You knew enough. The officer nodded at me. Your footage and your neighbor's footage will settle this. Karen screamed as they placed her in the cruiser. My son slipped his hand into mine and whispered, Dad, are we safe now? I looked at him and said, yes, no one touches you ever. The cruiser pulled away, dust rising behind it. The land fell quiet again. My land, my home, my family safe because this time the wrong people picked the wrong dad. The end.